Now that we've done plenty of beach time in the Algarve, it's now time to hit the road.
Road trip time!
This is also the part where we stuffed ourselves with food. Lots of food. This is literally my second plate, so there you go.
My waitressing skills, okay. I think Jan is ready to try some too. Cheers!
Remember when I told you earlier in the last episode that if you're staying longer, you'll have way more opportunity to explore the best of the Algarve. And part 2 is all about sights, sceneries, ceramics, flavours, and food.
Oh, it's so good.
Just to orient you specifically where we are in Portugal, this is where we base ourselves in Cavoeiro, and from here we take the road and head west of Algarve, all the way to the southwesternmost point of Portugal. Sagres. It's one of the most dramatic things you'll ever see in the Algarve. I've learned that since the ancient and throughout Greek and Roman times, this place had been affiliated with the Greek epic of Hercules and a Roman worship site honouring the god Saturn. Sagres literally is derived from sacrum or sagrado, which means holy. This is a place where Western civilization used to consider the end of the world. It's where the European continent stops, where the land ends, and all you have is the astonishingly vast Atlantic Ocean beyond the cliffs. Sagres is known for its incredibly historic nautical past too, where cartographers, astronomers, and navigators have mapped out voyage routes to other continents during Portugal's Age of Discovery. You stand here at the edge of Cabo de São Vicente, and you can feel the stunning and intensity, ferocity of nature. So, 3 words to describe Sagres: windswept, dramatic, and wild, which pretty much sums up why this place is also very popular with surfers. History lesson real quick. The Algarve has over 3,000 years of history, and its kingdom was once ruled by the Mediterranean people such as the Phoenicians, Carthaginians, and the Greeks, but none dominated more than the Romans and the Moors before Portugal became a nation-state. The Romans planted vineyards, olives, and brought civilization as we know it, and the Moors brought things like almonds, figs, and oranges, which are now distinguished as Algarvian produce. In fact, the 500 years of Moorish rule has such an influence on the Algarve that the region's name itself is derived from Moorish, Algarve, which means the West, as pertaining to the western part of the Iberian territories. You can also see it in many other names in Portugal: Albufeira, Algesur, Alentejo, Alcântara, Almada, the list goes on. Even the beautiful Portuguese azulejo has a Moorish origin. Which leads us to our next stop, both Roman and Moorish influence in the Algarve region, the culture of pottery and ceramics. Therese and I both love ceramics, and she knew exactly where to go. So she took me to Atessanato Amor, and while you're in Sagres, you must go for a visit. And you seriously can't miss this place. I mean, the shop front is just beautiful.
I just picked your name on the coffee cup. But a stroke of luck, the guy just messed up and gave your cup to me.
This is no exaggeration. We spent hours in the store trying to mix and match all the ceramics we wanted, and came out both elated at a total bargain at this place. So, while you're in the Algarve, get your hands on the best ceramics this region has to offer in such an affordable price.
And after a while, I was wiping a glass, and I can't think nothing better than started a year with a drop of romance.
Later, we hit the road again and drove to Lagos, as we wanted to catch a glimpse of the iconic Ponte de Piedade. And here it is, just a moment away from the sun's final rays, an Algarvian scenery to behold.
'cause you don't know me and I don't know you. But it breaks my heart, you're looking so blue on the first of the year. I just picked your name on the coffee cup. With a stroke of luck, the guy just messed up and gave your cup to me. A dark cappuccino is what matters me. The way you came toward me, dragging your feet, and I just smiled at you.
Oh, the big reveal.
And to an amazing time in Algarve.
Right? That evening, we headed to Portimão to grab some much-needed dinner, and somewhere hidden along the cobblestone streets of Portimão is a gem of a restaurant, Taberna de Mar. This is a glorious place for seafood, and we just loved every single dish that we ordered. So we're in Taberna de Mar, and we have just ordered an amazing king prawns, fried in garlic, and we all loved it.
This is all that's left of the shrimp, by the way. We went to town and we asked them to keep the plate on the table so that we could dip all of our stuff into this amazing garlicky, buttery sauce.
And now we're having linhas de frito, which is a fried squid, and it smells incredible. We're gonna tuck in and we're gonna enjoy.
What I got is rice with razor clams in it. Razor clams are these long, skinny clams with such a sweet flavor. They have it in this beautiful tomato broth with usually like a ton of fresh cilantro thrown at the top. I cannot wait to dig in. It's gonna be great. Let's have a bite. Oh, it's so good. The rice is just the teeniest bit al dente, so it's a little bit firmer, which is nice because as we are eating, it will continue to cook and soak in all the flavor. It just tastes really comforting and savory. It's these arroz dishes, the rice dishes, are some of my favorites here in Portugal. And I love the sweetness of the razor clams. Really great combination. So here we go. Cheers, guys.
Right, since we teased you with some Algarvian food, let's whet your appetite and embark on a food trip around the Algarve. Back in Cavoeiro, we have this favorite brunch place that we kept going back to. It's called Earth Shop Cafe.
So we're at the Earth Shop and Cafe. Today I'm having their chicken burrito, which is really popular. Kind of funny to have a burrito all the way here in the Algarve, but why not? It's a healthy burrito. And then you got the super salad. Look how good that looks. We've got cheese, a perfectly soft-boiled egg, some cranberries, garbanzo tomato, and some quinoa.
And as well as this amazing smoothie. It's called Avogogo, which has pretty much everything. Avocado, pineapple, spinach, lemon, lime, you name it. It's all the goodness in there.
So we're gonna dig in. I can't wait. Check it out. Alright, so I had to get dessert, and for dessert I have something that's very traditional here in Portugal. It's called tarte de amêndoa, or almond tart. And it's almond that's in like this syrup, and over a bit of cake at the bottom, and then some vanilla bean ice cream as well. It's crunchy and soft, and it's a perfect dessert.
Later, we were in the mood for something spicy, so when in Portugal, one shouldn't miss Piripiri Chicken. It's practically a national dish here, so time to visit the local grill. So we found a place that's apparently really good in Piripiri Chicken, and it's called a Fonte.
And don't forget the homemade piri-piri sauce, which we got a warning about. He said it's very hot, so be careful.
It just turned out that the Piripiri Chicken was so good that I had a second round. This is literally my second plate. If there's any proof that a chicken is good, then it would be the second helping, right? So piripiri is essentially from Mozambique, the spices, and Portuguese explorers back in time exported all the spices to Portugal, and they found a way to create a dish with grilled chicken with piripiri, and it seems like a real hit. Especially if you're British, you will know this. It's Nando's. So, but here in Portugal, it's the piripiri chicken, and it's just, well, if you like grilled spicy chicken, then you will love this dish. Are we turning into like an Anthony Bourdain?
Hey friends, so we are at a restaurant here in Carboeiro called Taste, and right now we're doing the tapas tasting. It's 15 euros for unlimited tapas. So we're gonna get ready to have some fun. This first thing is quinoa with peaches and tomatoes and some sort of creamy sauce. So we're gonna go ahead and dig in and enjoy.
So we love this cafe so much that we came back here again. This is the second time. It's the Earth Shop and Cafe, and they serve just the best food, the best breakfast, the best brunch.
I'm so excited to eat this morning. We're so hungry. So I ordered the deluxe, the Earth Deluxe, which has soft scrambled eggs, smoked salmon, and this beautiful dill cream sauce.
And I ordered eggs Benedict with poached eggs, bacon, spinach and toast, and cherry tomatoes. We ordered extra thing, which is a scone.
Yes, they have fresh baked scones here with real clotted cream, and then you can also order the local fig jam with almonds, which is like a very Algarvian flavor combination. And then we have all these smoothies. So I got the Hulk, which is this green smoothie, pineapple, broccoli, cucumber, spinach, all that good stuff.
All the good green stuff.
Fresh sumo de laranja, which is fresh squeezed orange juice with Algarvian oranges, which are the best. This is like the perfect way to have a Sunday brunch here in Carboeiro. So let's do it.
Let's check in. There's no stopping us eating our way through Algarve, so in Benagil we checked out a seafood joint, O Pescador, this pleasing restaurant with a pleasant view.
So we're at a place called O Pescador, which means the fisherman, and you can guess what they specialize in: fresh seafood. So this is a nero pasta, the squid ink pasta with fresh mussels and burrata. It looks incredible.
Later on, since it's the summer, we enjoyed some Artisan Gelato and a good walk around the town before eating again.
We're having artisanal gelato. This flavor is a traditional flavor from the Algarve, fig and almond. Take a look at that. Oh, so I'm gonna get started on this.
That evening, we were in the mood for some classic Algarvian culinary specialty, and we couldn't have picked a better restaurant. Hi, so we're in Casa Algarve, a very classic Portuguese restaurant.
We had to try food from the region. The Algarve is known for fresh seafood and shellfish, and so we're getting a dish called Kataplana, which is a specialty of the region, and we're really excited to try it. We've got some fresh bread from the region, and then we've also got, for starters, the couvert. So we've got a tuna pate, Algarvian carrots, which are usually finished with olive oil and some acid like vinegar. We have an aioli, and then a local cheese that's made with cow and sheep milk. They're usually quite salty and a little bit aged.
Oh wow!
Oh, it's big! Not gonna start tonight.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So we've got bits of salmon, there's mussels, some shrimp, and they've put in lots of potatoes and clams, and it smells amazing. It just smells like fresh seafood, and there's this rich tomato broth. I cannot wait to take a bite. My waitressing skills, okay.
Thank you.
Cake that's special to the region with figs and almonds. It looks very, very rich. So we've got some whipped cream to wash it down.
After a few drinks, we were set for the night, ready for another road adventure the next day. Now that we've covered west of Algarve, it's now time to head east, visiting the towns of Tavira, Santa Lucia, Villamura, and finish off in Albufeira.
Long nights like dominoes, all is lying on the edge.
First, we headed to Tavira, specifically in the little fishing village town of Santa Lucia, a place known for its lagoons, waterways, sandbars, and mudflats. Also, octopus.
Hey friends, so right now we're in a small town in the Algarve of Portugal called Santa Lucia, which is the capital of octopus in all of Portugal. So if you're a fan of octopus, this is the city you want to check out. And we are at the #1 restaurant for octopus in Santa Lucia, which is called Casa de Polvo, House of Octopus. So right now I'm going to try what I ordered, which is a roasted octopus, oven roasted octopus, or polvo no forno, so octopus from the oven. It's an octopus that has sweet potatoes and apricots and garlic and tons of olive oil. So let's give it a taste. I love how all the flavors blend. It's also a mix of textures, the softness of the octopus, there's a little bit of crunchiness in the dried apricot, and then the softness of the sweet potato. It's so fantastic. I think Jans is ready to try some too.
I'm having polvo algarvian, which is a grilled octopus that's got olive oil and garlic, and as well as cabbage and boiled potatoes. So it's quite exciting. We're going to try it. That's delightful. It's super soft. I don't know how they make octopus really soft. And I love garlic, so put lots of garlic in my food and I'll be happy as a baby. The flavor is just bursting out. It feels like the octopus has been marinated for a while and boiled in something, and then afterwards put on the grill, so there's that kind of crispiness on the outside. And there's when you bite into it, it just like dissolves in your mouth, which is incredible.
Dessert time. Never pass up an opportunity to get to dessert. So we have the Tres Delicias, the 3 delicacies, I think. And it has carob, almond, and at the very bottom, I think, we've got some fig. Looks amazing. And then we also have mousse de chocolat, so chocolate mousse. And the Portuguese mousse is really special because it's very rich, extremely thick, not necessarily light and fluffy, but very, very rich, pure chocolate. Some coffee to wash it down. So let's dig in. Wow, surprisingly not rich. And it has that fig with a little bit of crunch of the seeds. Some softly sweetened almond, not super sweet. And the carob's often used as a chocolate substitute, so it has kind of an earthy, chocolatey flavor to it. It's really good, and I'm so glad it's not too sweet.
After that delightful lunch, we headed straight to the city proper of Tavira, as the locals we've known have been highly recommending us to go. where it's more preserved, less touristy, and has a laid-back vibe compared to the common and more popular parts of the Algarve.
Long days waking up too late. It's alright, I'll be coming home soon.
Turns out, Tavira is indeed quite charming. Some say it's Algarve's prettiest town, and I couldn't agree more. From the Ponte Romana pedestrian bridge, over River Guilhão, to the town centre lined with whitewashed buildings, it gets even more pretty when you walk up the cobblestone pavements up to the ruined Moorish castle, where a beautiful garden awaits.
The world is cold and lonely enough, and all the time is passing us both up. Oh, I won't lie, I need to feel your love, your love, your love.
And by the corner is the statuesque and dazzling Igreja de Santa Maria, with its clock-faced tower. It's a national monument built by Christians when they took over from the Moors, and apparently holds the tombs of the 7 knights who died in a battle during the Reconquest.
I know what I gotta do. Heart is blind, I've been down at times. Nothing can keep me from you.
Just by sunset, we stopped by briefly at Villamura to check out scenes there. We heard it's the playground of the elites, and you can tell by the marina, the yachts, and these big-ass hotels. Some say it's like Miami in Portugal, but my impression couldn't really care less. We just wanted to enjoy the sun and the sea breeze at Praia de Villamura, and that seems pretty good enough for us.
Running, nothing can keep me from you.
Ultimately, our final destination, Albufeira. This is the largest resort town in the Algarve and commercially drawing holidaymakers and expats. That said, Albufeira, while certainly the liveliest and most popular destinations in this coastal region, it remains a great paradox. Just a short walk around and you'll see a town that sold itself to tourism. For every charming Portuguese street here, there are eyesores, stretches of unabashed disfigurements around the town. If you ask around, Albufeira's reputation is somewhat notorious for its reliance on mass tourism, club culture, and nightlife. If that's exactly what you're looking for, then this place is for you. However, if you're looking for glimpses of heritage, walk around the old town, up on the hill, and you'll see scenes of charming and historic streets, thankfully tranquil enough to walk around. Head down below and you'll end up on its main beach, Praia dos Pescadores, and you'll find out the result of how a fishing village turned into one of Algarve's main tourist beaches. It's no wonder Algarve attracted this many people. Here, it's all about the sea, the sun, and everything else that bursts forth when these elements combine. Later, we took on a jeep tour to see more of the area and learn more about Albufeira and how the place came to be. One interesting thing to note here is the almost ubiquitous presence of British expats in Albufeira, and in Algarve in general. We learned a story that a BBC journalist promoted Albufeira in the 1960s and ended up owning 2 pubs and restaurants here, and thus began the British boom in the Algarve region. In records, the British represented 37% of the holidaymakers that visit the Algarve, and the British make up over 60% of the expat community living in this region. We learned that to the eastern side of Albufeira is the new town. There's a place that they call the Strip, the party capital, a sort of wasteland for excess and hedonism that we've heard many locals frown upon. But we also learned that a lot of livelihood depend largely on tourists, and while this year has certainly been a real predicament to tourism, the paradox gets even more fascinating as businesses and lives here are affected. More than ever, visitors and customs are welcomed here to help sustain the economy of an entire region that massively benefits from the tourism industry. On the final day of our stay, we wanted nothing else but to just enjoy each other's company and conclude our food trip with some great food at Chef's Kitchen in Carvoeiro. Hey guys, we're in Chef's Kitchen in Carvoeiro and apparently it's very highly recommended, so we thought we'd spend our last night here for dinner, and Therese had opted for
the tomahawk steak. You have to look at this baby. So the tomahawk steak is over 1 kilo, 2.2 pounds approximately of meat, cooked medium, so it's going to be pink in the center. Jans and I are each going to try a piece. I'm going to go for this middle piece right here. All sliced. And wait, there's a little bit of the sauce I got to get. You want some sauce, Jans?
Yeah, please.
Some sauce? Okay. I think it's a peppercorn sauce.
I just literally dipped it. We feel very carnivorous tonight.
It looks perfectly red in or pink in the center. Here we go.
It's really the most tender meat.
Tender, very marbly. It's got tons of like that rich, fatty flavor in it. Perfectly cooked. Kind of caramelized on the outside. You're gonna try the gratin potatoes.
The flavor just melts in
Try
down.
potato.
So it comes with gratin potatoes and stir-fried vegetables as well.
Ooh, the potatoes are really rich, super cheesy. Look at all that
Super cheesy.
cheese layer on top. I tried to bite. See what you think.
The gratin is amazing.
All right, we're gonna keep eating, so we'll see you guys later.
See you guys later, bye. So that was the Algarve we experienced. One of my favorite things during our entire trip was when we were in a jeep tour, exploring some of the beautiful and tranquil parts of Algarve.
Cricket grin, a pink sun was your skin. Right in a train, right down memory lane.
We drove by the sunset across the coast and visited some really stunning beaches. And while we paid a lot of attention to learning things around us, perhaps the greatest lesson I personally learned is this. These 12 days have been instrumental in diving deep within myself and to understanding what really matters.
Memories will be tattoos on your soul.
I allowed myself to spend time with friends, with people that matter, and create meaningful memories together. While we saw so many sceneries and explored the Algarvian coast and ate so much food, the most memorable moments were really the deep conversations we've had with friends, the unforgettable adventures we shared together, and the bonds we created all those times. Algarve now has a place in my memory. Algarve is a reminder that life can be good, adventurous, real, and meaningful. And in the grand scheme of things, hey, maybe that's all that matters.
Memories will be tattoos on your soul.